spooky season. But I'm gonna tell you a little bedtime story and get you all tucked in advance of Halloween. And I want to make sure that it's not scary at all. In fact, I promise it won't be. And I think if you let yourself listen and enjoy that, you'll find it really, really properly very relaxing. Okay, let's try. I have some props to help me too. Okay, so once upon a time, there was a sweet skeleton who was having lots of trouble falling asleep. And what the skeleton didn't know, what was hard to realize in the cozy graveyard where it found itself, was that it had lots and lots of friends who would help it to fall asleep if only they were given the chance. The first friend who tried to come help was a not too gloomy jack-o'-lantern. This jack-o'-lantern is meant to light up, but it doesn't want to right now. It's okay to be a little bit shy sometimes, you know? And this gentle jack-o'-lantern told the skeleton that if it wanted to, it just needed to ground itself down into the ground, which the skeleton thought sounded a little silly because, after all, he was buried in the ground once. But the skeleton was willing to give it a try, so he stood on his bony feet, grounding himself down, and worked his posture up a little bit. After all, he was mostly spine and ribs, so posture was more important than he thought. And he had to say thank you to the gentle jack-o'-lantern because it did actually make him feel just a little bit better after all. And the next friend that came to help the jack-o'-lantern was a batty bat. And even though his eyes were glowing red and he did have quite sharp teeth, as a matter of fact, he was friendly and gentle, and the skeleton realized after talking to him for just a couple of moments that he really only ate flies and berries, and he was super, super, super nice. And the advice that he gave to the skeleton on getting some restful sleep is that you need to put healthy and good things inside your body, and it's a little hard when you're only made of bones. But the bat flapped all around, and he found some nice herbs and a little bit of berries, and with some water from the spring that ran all through their graveyard home, he was able to brew a little bit of sleepy time tea for the skeleton. And the skeleton found that really, really helped. And as the skeleton moved along through the graveyard, he found himself, unfortunately, stuck into a whole tangly bit of cobwebs. And as relaxed as he had gotten, this created some stress for him, and the skeleton realized that it was going to take a lot more to fall asleep. But what was lucky for the skeleton, what helped with the stress level, was that within that cobweb there wasn't just one spider like he was expecting, like he was a little afraid of, frankly. There were 5 very, very nice, creepy and crawly and cute spiders, and they all sprang up to attention and untangled the skeleton from where he had been all wrapped up in webs. And the skeleton was so grateful to be let loose and really caught off guard. Even though he knew he didn't have a lot of meat on his bones, he'd been worried when he got tangled up in the web. And so he was brave enough to ask the spiders, "What would you do if you needed to get some really good sleep?" And the spiders, with all of their legs, 40 legs between them, they said that what's so important, what people forget at bedtime, is that you really, really need to stretch and be so kind to your body. You need to loosen everything up. And they showed the skeleton a couple of yoga poses that could help him unwind and get back to that relaxed place that he had suddenly felt so far away from. And he thanked all the 5 spiders for teaching him poses that either he didn't know or he had forgotten over all the years of being a bunch of bones. And he kept stretching and stretching, feeling more and more relaxed. Now the last friend that the skeleton encountered, how does he go? Sometimes he lights up too. That's okay, sweet buddy. The last friend that the skeleton encountered came in on a cool breeze, and it was a ghost. This too was a little bit shocking for the skeleton, but the ghost had one of the best relaxation tricks he was about to find out. And he was actually going to be really, really glad that he had blown through just at that moment. And what the ghost had to say, I wonder if you can guess what a ghost who comes in on a cool breeze would say. The ghost told the skeleton that one of the most important things for restful, relaxing sleep is that you want to go ahead and take deep, deep breaths in, holding that breath and out. And to the skeleton's very great surprise, the ghost was actually willing to take a few deep breaths with him, all the way in, and all the way out, out, out. And the skeleton felt so incredibly much better after those deep breaths and that stretching and that grounding. And I feel I'm missing something. Oh, and that sleepy time tea. How could I forget about that? He felt so much better that for the first time in what seemed like ages, he rested his bones and got a great night's sleep. And when he woke up, he felt so happy that he sought out all his new graveyard friends and made sure that they were taking care of themselves as well. The end. I hope, as I've been tucking you in and giving you some not too spooky story times, that you've really relaxed. I hope you're feeling fantastic today because you absolutely deserve it. I will see you again very, very, very soon.